while, and then that guy kind of got burned out with a lot of different things going on in his life. So it's they aren't releasing. The next one is to be determined at this point. There's no date.
Right.
So it is kind of cool to have a date and say, you know, okay, I know in 2 weeks I'm going to get something new. I can look forward to it. I kind of like that. But I understand, having done at least one audio drama now, just how much work is involved. And it's like, man,
absolutely, right.
For these people, the great thing about the zombie one, too, is they write, it's all original. Even all the music that they do is original with their group. So they write, they edit, they compose, they do everything. And it's like, wow, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and one of the things that We're Alive has going for them is the fact that they planned on it being a 4-season thing, and they've got a whole story arc. Where, like, my problem with the Byron Chronicles is I really feel like they don't know even how it's going to end or anything like that, because it's so sporadic and stuff. And so I really hope that, if We're Alive just kind of finishes the story thing, and if they feel like they want to do it again, do it from a different person's point of view, or a different city or different country or something like that. That way I as a listener can see a beginning and an end type of thing. And you know
what's one of the interesting things too is that the We're Alive, they have their own website and forums and all that kind of stuff. And it's pretty active. And they talked many different times about wanting it to be a movie, how they thought it would be cool to be a movie.
Right.
But there are actually some listeners in there that are like, I wouldn't want to watch it because I don't know how you reproduce what you have in the audio drama as a movie.
Yeah, because you know what I mean? You had the same. I remember you had the same feeling about iRobot because it was your favorite book, and you didn't want to disenfranchise on your images that you came up with.
Exactly.
So I can understand that. So these audio dramas are really cool, and for me, the interesting thing that you guys talk about is that sort of. There's a lot of concessions that you make in terms of either the quality of the recording or acting or the release schedule or something like that. And it's the same sort of feeling I get. Like, I've really been into the original Star Trek series on Netflix. The original Star Trek, right? Yeah. And there's so many concessions I make as a viewer where I look at this and I see something that is not up to par in terms of the quality of a lot of things that I'm used to, but I'm so hooked into it because of the topics that they address and the philosophy that they address and the depth of the show, and that the show isn't just about this cheesy fight scene with Captain Kirk and a lizard or the cheesy special effects. I mean, the show, unlike a lot of shows today, are about something. And to me, that depth draws me in so much that I'm willing to forgive all these cheesy sort of effects and stuff like that. So it's an interesting point that you guys bring up, and that you'll make some concessions because you're so drawn into the story or the characters or some other sort of depth of the show that you're drawn into.
Yeah, I think just real quick too. One of the cool things is, I mean, if you listen to the old radio shows in the 30s, 40s, whatever, which you can find on the internet, a lot of them, it's an MP3. There are some that are pretty bad. But there are other ones that really hook you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like World of Worlds, to me, is one of those. That was like 39 that it was done. And it was like, I listened to it today and I go, man, they hit all the right notes.
Right.
And, but I have more tools available to me today than they had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yet they were able to it resonated with people. In some level. Even though we're 60 some years in the future, and you can still listen to it and go, that really was pretty good.
It was good,
and having listened to a lot of those old shows, getting ready for a lot of these audio dramas, two of the ones that really resonated for me that didn't really feel like they aged too much is number one, Suspense, which we're doing an episode from Suspense for this next show, Back for Christmas. It's just really well produced, and just the suspense is really there. The other one was Gunsmoke, the Western, which obviously most people think of the TV show now today.
Right.
But back in the day, it was a really controversial show, and they didn't have a sponsor for a long time because they wanted to be able to address, things artistically they wanted to do, and they didn't always wrap things up with a happy ending.
Yeah.
And they address some difficult issues that, would take place in those days and stuff like that. So, so like Gunsmoke and Suspense and a couple of those shows, if you get a chance to listen to, I know on archive.org you get a chance to listen to those. Definitely worth a listen to, especially if you like our, the radio dramas that we're doing.
I mean, it just goes to show, a good story never dies. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it boils down to. It doesn't matter what technology you have or shooting style. A good story is a good story.
Period.
And,
which is one of the things I am really loving about the creative group that we have at 12A. I mean, just the opportunity to tell a good story and to engage an audience. And I remember just talking to the actors before we recorded Back for Christmas and just saying, how excited we were to just engage an audience and keep them in suspense and entertain them and engage them and draw them in is just such a great opportunity, whether it's, a visual web series like HOA Police that is a comedy that draws from the pain in life that people in the suburbs living in the HOA, or it's, an audio drama that is very sucked into the, it's engaging because of the suspense we feel in the different fears in our life or desires and the problems that those create in everyday living and stuff. So it's just fun to be a part of a group that can tell stories in different ways and approach things from different angles.
Yeah.
totally.
All right. You want to switch up some pace, do some second base for $1 and get into some different? Okay. I got a good one here. Well, you could guess what it is probably.
Oh, great. All right, here we go.
This is a little segment we like to call How to Get to Second Base for $1. Oh, yeah.
Hello, I'm going to tell you how to get to second base for $1 now. I hope you're listening. So Redbox, I got to give them mad props for this because they have this at the Redbox over the Circle K, even though I can Netflix this.
The actual Redbox.
The actual Redbox. Yes. Not the Redbox Instant or anything like that. The actual Redbox. I got to give them mad kudos for the fact that they had Love Actually in the Redbox, and it's a 10-year-old movie. But they knew that this is the best romantic holiday movie, period.
Steve, you paid to watch Redbox, Love Actually?
No, I didn't pay for it.
Okay. Did you Netflix it?
I did Netflix it, though.
Okay.
It was easy to, Netflix it on the Roku real quick.
Right. Do you, let me ask you, do you own?
I do own.
You do?
Love Actually.
Okay. All right.
But it is easier to Netflix it than to open up the DVD, as you well know.
And you
I was going to say.
There's certain movies that I'll still do that with, where, if I have the DVD, but I can do it in HD, if I have a Blu-ray, you still get the better bit rate and all that stuff. But if it,
Okay.
So
anyways, Love Actually. And I found there are people, like I was so excited about watching this, I was telling people at work about it, and 3 of the people I work with have never seen this movie or heard of this movie.
What?
And they're not my friends anymore.
Yeah.
But
until they watch it.
Until they watch it.
Right.
But I didn't realize that, and I only watch it in December every year. Tiffany and I watch it, and we did this year.
Right.
We sat down, had some apple pie and coffee, and we're watching this and totally getting into it and falling in love with some of the stories.
Right.
And I was going to make a list of my favorite couples, and so I started out with where is it at here? Oh yeah, Bill Nighy's washed-up rock star that he plays.
Yes.
Hugh Grant is this prime minister who falls in love with his help, and then Colin Firth is this writer who falls in love with somebody who doesn't even speak his language.
Yes.
And I realized all of a sudden my list was going on, and I pretty much just love every character couple in this whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah. But I found out a couple of interesting things that I thought I would share with all of you. About the filming of it that I didn't know, and this is a movie I've watched, probably a dozen times now. Since
and I'm
it
hoping
came
you
out.
touch on this, but one of them you posted a graphic for on Facebook.
Yes, that the guy in Walking Dead is, and I didn't even realize he was in it or anything like that until all of a sudden Tiffany's like, hey, I think that's Rick Grimes from Walking Dead. And
Yeah.
I was like, what? And sure enough, it is.
Yeah.
And so there's this great thing that Marianne, a fan of ours, posted to me.
Great fan.
And I listed on our Facebook. And what it is in the movie, he's in love with Keira Knightley's character, and she's married to his best friend. So he goes up to her front door, and he has these signs, and they just read, like, I will love you until you look like this. And it looks like this very old, cranky woman. Well,
mummified
and everything. Yeah. You know, I will love you till you're old and mummified.
Right.
And then there's this picture of him in The Walking Dead when he's standing next to this zombified lady, and it's like, oh my God, he really told the truth,
right.
you know?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. The opening and closing credits are real shots of people in Heathrow Airport. So he had a film crew in Heathrow Airport for 2 weeks, and they were told what to get, and then they, obviously had to get them to sign off on everything when they got it. But he wanted that real connection when people were meeting each other at the airport. I love that because,
Yeah, I am such a film nerd and I love that movie so much that I actually watched that entire movie. Pardon me, with the director's commentary.
Oh, okay.
Which is great because there's Hugh Grant and Colin Firth
have a battle in it. Yeah.
And at one point, like, Hugh Grant gets a phone call and he actually steps out from it. It's like, why don't you put your phone on silent? And I remember him talking about that. And you're right. It adds such a genuine element of affection to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I love Rowan Atkinson's cameo.
Yes.
And that is just so perfect, and just all he's doing is wrapping a gift. That was great. And then the other cameo that I forgot about that I loved was Billy Bob Thornton as a U.S. president.
Oh, perfect casting.
Just perfect creeper guy. So well done. Yeah, for the 2 minutes he was in the movie. I love that one too.
Yeah, that was perfect casting. That was brilliant.
Chris Marshall plays the character. I think his name was Colin something in it, but he's the cheesy British guy who flies to Wisconsin to get laid type of thing.
Yeah.
So a little tidbit on that one. In the scene, have you seen this, Sammy, or
no?
No. Okay. Well,
you haven't seen Love Actually?
No.
There's a dang.
No, I'm really the odd man out.
You
now.
really are. No pajamas, no Love Actually. There's a scene where his character he can't get with any British chicks, and he's like, but I've got the great British accent. And I said, so he's like, he sells all kinds of stuff. He pretty much rents out his flat to somebody else so he can buy a one-way ticket to Wisconsin, and that's where he's going to meet a chick. And he ends up meeting this gorgeous chick who falls in love with his accent, and she has these roommates, and they go back to the house, and it's a shot from like outside where you see him getting stripped down by the three girls. Well, for that scene where he gets undressed by the three girls, he said he had such a great time being undressed by three girls for 21 takes that he would have done it for free. And so he actually returned his pay for that day.
Really?
Because he loved it. Yeah. He said it took 21 takes that they did, and he's like, I loved it. Three girls undressed me for 21 takes. So what's great about this movie, Sammy, since you haven't seen it, is like it's like every version of love that could be. Like there's the childlike love. There's this marriage that just needs work. There's that guy that he just wants to get laid. He doesn't know what love is. And then finding your perfect love in an awkward place, which is these two people who are stand-ins in a porn movie.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And it's so great because like their stand-ins is in they're standing there while they're getting the lighting right before the actual actors come in,
Right.
And so they're standing there and they just are meeting each other on set. And at one point the director's like, can you take your shirt off? We need to check lighting on your boobs and stuff like this. And like the guy said, they're having this great conversation, and this is just work for them.
Okay.
There's nothing sexual about it at all.
Yeah, right.
And they're doing weird gestures and stuff like this that you'd seen in a porn while they're fully clothed and sometimes not. But for them, they're just having this conversation about going and having coffee and stuff. And they fall in love. It's just this great thing. Or falling in love with the wrong person, like that happens, or just just finding out that it wasn't supposed to be in the end type of thing, I mean, there's one of the couples that it's not like they're not all a perfect romance, and I think that's what I really love about it is some of them end up not working out, and some of them do, and some of them you have to fight for, and some are more natural. So it like covers every basis of what love could be. The washed up rock star that Bill Nighy plays is so great. I love his character. And it ends up being that he just realizes that his love is this guy that's his best friend, you know, and he just, when he's thinks of somebody he wants to hang out with and just relax with, it's his best friend. He doesn't want to be at a party with all these girls that want to be with this rock star guy. Okay. He just wants to be with this fat manager, and hang out with him, and you know, and so it's a really, really good movie. So yeah, if you have not seen it, I definitely suggest it, Sammy. It's good comedy too. Yeah.
And